doctor said I'll come up with a plan. The man didn't like it, so he got up and ran. Don't deal with demons is what he said. He trashed it all, tried to knock it on the head, but watch out now, it's still alive. The doctor's making waves and dodging all the lies. The Flerfs better duck out before it's too late, caught in something that'll seal their fate. Along came Toon and looked it in the eye, said, come on down and we can take it to the sky. We'll talk about the sun and a tall lighthouse. Before you know it, they'll be quiet as a mouse. We prefer to use a Cessna, they said with a cry. Fly on down a beam and spit in your eye. Never mind that the errors will abound, and the plans from someone who's not around. We can talk a load of nonsense and make it by. No model, no clue, just pie in the sky. Got a week's grace to straighten out the plan. One went missing, never made it to the clan. Diagrams, PowerPoint, blind faith and charts. Forget the formulas and the other major parts. The doctor wasn't pleased and he made it clear, this isn't how things are done around here. Listen up boys, this ain't gonna fly. Close them all down in a wink of an eye. So went the run of a grand design, and ended more ridiculous than sublime. Yeah, that was the end of their time to shine. Left muted and reduced to holding up a sign.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday night. I hope you're ready. Sorry for the hour delay. Had some family news, sadness, but anyway, we're good. We're rocking tonight, and we're ready to talk about the TFE, the Flat Earth embarrassment. Wow, it was an absolute humiliating, brutal demolition of Flat Earth. At the hands of Dr. Shiva. So say what you like about him, but man, did he tear them up. And poor Kevin. Kevin was sent in like a lamb to slaughter. It's so many questions about what happened. Anyway, the video that just played, thank you to Dougal Dog for making that little intro video there. You can go find Dougal Dog on YouTube. 33UC, click that link. Any Flerfs right here, look at that open invite. The link is in the live chat to bring your model for the flat earth that predicts the sun position. If you don't have it, I will just mock the piss out of you if you come on. That's what you're here for. If you're gonna join and not bring a model, right? Because what I will do is I will be asking you a date, a time, a location. What does your model say? And you will be presenting the details of the model, including derivation of things, numbers that might just be mysteriously included. If all that you can do is, instead of using the flat earth model, this thing here that flat earthers have been using for the last 150 years, this one that every single one of you has on a pillow, or wishes you had on a pillow, so you could hug it at night when you cry yourself to sleep in your mommy's basement with hot pocket stains on your shirt. That's the one. That's the map, because there is no other map that flat earthers have that is less ridiculous than this one. Right? You got a square where where water dumps over the edges, that's hilarious. Let's mock the piss out of those people. Do you have a different circle? Did you get super desperate after this was disproved in Antarctica that now you don't even put Antarctica around the outside, you just put water around the outside, so that all of the mocking pictures and memes that people make of flat Earth with boats falling over the edge, is that your new model now, flatties? Well, you deserve the mockery and humiliation. You are your families despise you. They are ashamed of you for being so gullible. So anyway, 33UC was timed out. Now, normally most of the people you don't get it just but 33UC, he's here for one reason: whack a troll. So yeah, anyway, if you're does your map like, does the sun have to go off one edge of the map and then Pac-Man to the other side? You know, waka 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 waka. Does it have to do that in order for the sun to get to the other side? Well, then you are absolutely ridiculous. You need to be mocked. That's all you get. So anyway, this is your chance, flatties, to redeem the humiliation that Flat Earth was handed by Kevin on Saturday at Dr. Shiva's panel. The panel that Flat Earth Dave said he would participate in, but then ran off. The panel that Man of Stone really wanted to be on, but was an absolute douchebag. And Shiva is like, no way, you're a douchebag, piss off. And then Shiva put out an open invitation to everybody, after specifically inviting a few flatties, like Eric Dubé got invited, Mark Sargent got invited, Nathan Thompson got invited. Where did they go? Where are they at? Well, they decided not to even respond to the invitation. So when the debate was happening, and there were people in the live chat saying, hey, how come Eric Dubé isn't here? He could totally tear it up. He was invited. But this is your chance, Eric Dubé. You can come on right now and do what Kevin could not do. Present a flat Earth model that predicts the position of the sun. That's all you got to do. That's it. It should be easy. I can do it for the globe. I will output a prediction. Dan, Unfornicated, my partner in, or one of the three of us that were on the Globe Team Globe, he presented the model. It used globe geometry to do it. It was all based on globe geometry, and some flat earthers were actually so incredibly stupid, that's what they are, that they thought that Dan's globe geometry based model wasn't globe based. They obviously didn't watch. Anyway, remember, this is your chance, flatties. Click the link. There's no flatties here right now. I posted on Facebook yesterday. I made this video yesterday. Normally I just do it the day of. I did it a day before. I posted this on X and on Facebook so that the flat earthers, humiliated as they were, could prepare their model and bring it here now live to redeem flat Earth, to show that Kevin was just the dullard that drew the short straw. He was the patsy that was sent in Dave Weiss's place to get humiliated. He was the one that was just the dumb enough one to talk, because Ryan, he was there both times. He didn't say a damn word. Globe Slayer, he didn't even show up. Probably of the three, certainly Globe Slayer, you're the smartest of the three. Unfornicated says, how does spherical geometry work on a dirt pizza? It doesn't. Okay, hold on. Now, Glitch, I see, was timed out. Why was Glitch timed out? Can't wait. Hold on. That was obviously a mistake. So hold on a second. Glitch says, I've been waiting years to see a working flat earth model. Can't wait for a Flerf to come on and show us how it actually works. Well, I don't know why Glitch was timed out. I'm assuming it was an accident by Jeebus. You know what happens when somebody gets timed out that shouldn't get timed out? You get made a moderator. There you go. Glitch, welcome to team moderator. There's a lot of your moderators. So anyway, oh, Jeebus fixed it. Got it. Okay. Anyway, Flatties. None. It's right here. I'm looking. None have joined yet. So this is your chance. This is your chance, Flatties. Well, in the meantime, I got a few things. Let's go over the absolute humiliation that Kevin brought upon Flat Earth. We'll do that. Rossi says, how does the dirt pizza work on a dirt pizza? It doesn't. Of course it doesn't. We all know it doesn't. Tim Davidson says, the Flerf forgot about the time change. Stupid DLS. Daylight savings. Actually, I had to delay an hour. So give them another hour to prepare. Tim Davidson again says, why do Timothy's go by Tim and not Moth? I love lamb. It's Rubik says, you were right. Geno's was better than Lou Malnati. I don't know who Lou Malnati is. Maybe it's a Chicago pizza. But yes, Geno's East is my favorite pizza. It's my favorite restaurant on the globe. My second favorite is that's definitely Murray's in downtown Minneapolis. The Chateaubriand for $2. I get it for $1, but it's rather expensive. It's best if it's on the company card. Penguin J says, mockery. Wee. Well, that's all that they get. CJ Lamro says 33 takes Dirth's dome shots. Flat Earth Dave knows that dome shot is a euphemism for blowjob and still chose it. Tim and Matt, his partner in that, Matt Long, hyper religious guy, also knows that the name of the cryptocurrency that he's put his name to is a euphemism for blowjob. Hey, if that's your thing, if you're all about the blowjobs, Matt Long, all right, then do it. You do you. Tim Davidson says, is Greta Thunberg a grifter? I don't know, but she travels the world asking for change. Oh my gosh. Greg Edmonds says, keep swinging the truth bat, Mike. Thank you, I shall. Alexander L says, please cover Jaren versus Allen. Utter destruction. It was. I watched that. It was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, I'll have to cover that. I'll get clips of it so I don't it was too long to just watch the whole thing. So anyway, I got some clips. I got some clips here of goofball Kevin. So Kevin agreed during the first meeting to bring his model of the flat earth that predicts the sun position. I'm going to go over some of the stuff from that first one to point out these specific things. This one's pretty good.
But he's giving you an alternative, which frankly makes it a 1 or 0. And maybe you guys don't want that.
Of course we want a good experiment, but I say 1
But
or
you're
0
not,
is,
what your
1 or 0
experiment is.
isn't as good as 2 different distances.
Well, first of all,
where
you didn't
can
do
go
this
closer from one
experiment. A
distance.
guy who was banned from this, and you're lying because you have his name all over the experiment.
I didn't lie.
I
told
so you
you
misrepresented. You've misrepresented yourself.
No, I
Okay.
told you as soon as you asked me, who is it? I say it's not my experiment. Where did
No, I had to ask twice. Okay. So you've misrepresented the presentation here. This is not from you. It has his name all over.
Because you do as yes, I don't deny it. You do association
After I asked you,
fallacies all over.
you didn't say this is not my experiment when you presented this.
It goes still since January. This is since January.
You
It's
have an
happening.
individual who's been in the flat earth community confusing everyone, and his experiment has been presented, not yours. That's misrepresentation.
Because you exclude everyone who are the good at math, who are
Good?
the good
Who?
physicians. Yes,
Who?
Stone is good at math.
No,
Alan is
no,
good
he's-
at math.
Yeah,
I like
right.
Shane
No.
here,
Listen,
and you don't
listen.
want those people, so I have to take over
Okay,
here.
we can give him a math exam, and I can give him an MIT math exam, and I'll judge how good he is. Okay?
Alan showed you already
No, he
kinematics
isn't.
and dynamics.
You're not an expert in it.
I'm not, but the
You
others.
didn't
So
study
I
this.
like.
Have some respect for people put in the fucking time.
Hilarious. Kevin actually thinks that Alan, he thinks that Alan, of all people, space audits, Alan. He actually thinks that Alan Space Audits is good at math. So I debated Alan, and let's see. Let me get this in here. Here it is. I debated Alan, and in that debate, it wasn't a good thing, because this right here, let me pull this up. This is what Alan did. This was Alan's math right here. The angle is 60 degrees. The hypotenuse, distance to star, is 60 degrees. Wait a second. Distances to stars are not measured in degrees. And the cosine ratio is 60 degrees adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, I don't know how he got adjacent over hypotenuse, because what's the adjacent on here? What is the distance of the adjacent? It's not even listed. It's the one on the bottom, right? The adjacent is this on the bottom. See that? No number here. The hypotenuse he labeled as 60 degrees. So is this, but here's the thing. He got a number, right? He didn't he didn't do the math. He just wrote stuff down and then output a number. That's it. It I don't know. Okay, adjacent equals 60 times 1.5 equals 30 degrees. How did he get 30 degrees for a length? Again, he's so terrible at math. Alan, this is embarrassing for you. And Kevin is such a blithering idiot. Blithering idiot. Better word. Such a blithering idiot that he thinks Alan is good at math. Not just that he's good at math. Kevin thinks Alan is this.
Okay. Invite Alan, invite Space Audits math genius.
Math genius. He thinks he's a math genius. Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. A little more here.
Yeah, you think that if this mathematical model is able to predict the observation of the sun, then you have evidence flat or round.
Yep. Yes. That is what normal people think. That is what people who have brains think. And he's trying to discredit that. This was a week and a half ago, right? This was in the preliminary, or the first meeting. Like, he actually thinks that if you have a hypothesis and you test the hypothesis and it matches, Kevin doesn't think that's evidence. He thinks that's, I don't know what he would think it is. This is what's so wacky about flat earthers. They think that there is such thing as proof in science. Okay, what's the process by which things are proven in science? Flat earthers, using whatever method you think is the right method. They don't have that. They reject actual experimentation and replace it with nothing. They don't have anything to replace it with. It's very interesting. Okay. So here is Kevin agreeing, talking about the coordinate system.
F equals MA is
Did you not
valid.
understand what we spoke about in the beginning?
Yes, it's
Okay.
something completely else. But we have
No, it isn't.
prediction here. The sun appears in this at your window, coming back to the next
Okay,
time. You have no connection to the ground.
What are you talking about?
That with the
What are you
plane,
missing here? Should I do it as a kindergarten drawing for you?
Start with the lat-long system, please.
I love the kindergarten drawing.
Start with
here.
what?
The lat-long system you suggest to insert as location value.
Okay, I'm not going to talk to you because you seem either not understanding something purposely.
I'm understanding very well that the lat-long system is part of the spherical model already. That's their model. So you're going to have to come up with your own model. Why are you trying to blow people?
But if you need to simplify, you can say, for a person standing in this city on this street corner or on this beach on this spot, you don't need to use lat long. Just use a position and create your own coordinate system.
Perfect.
So there it is. This was him agreeing. He's going to, instead of using lat long, he's going to use whatever he wants to use. Perfect. That's acceptable. He's going to do that, right? He has a week to do that. And he has math genius. Alan the math genius. Space Audit's the math genius. Because it's going to help him. Amazing. And so is Shame Saint Plagiaire. And so is Man of Stone. Hey, he could call up Dearth. I mean, he's the lamb led to slaughter in Dearth's place. He certainly should be able to get an answer from Dearth, right? Well, anyway, Kevin went on to complain about our experiment and bring up some things that he thought wouldn't work about. Anyway, you might want to before we get on. Hold on, get your tabs out here because you're gonna need it. And there's a flatty in here. I don't know if it's a flatty or if someone being sarcastic. Down direction says, let's look out the window to measure the floor. Certainly you can do that. He says, math post-diction, that's all the globe has. No, not at all. So a post-diction would be if you were to have already gone somewhere and measured something, right? So for example, Dan used in his as one of his examples, the angle to the sun on the day of last Saturday, right? Whatever day of November that was, on the steps at a place on campus there near the university, near Yeshiva, right, at MIT. Now he did not go and obtain measurements that had been previously measured at that location. That would have been the post-diction. He used a model, developed a model from measurements at other locations. And then that model output a prediction for this location, right? So it wasn't a post-diction. It wasn't done ahead of time where it was already known. It was not known for that particular location. Now, maybe somebody in the past has measured it on that particular day. Dan was unaware of it. He did not use that particular thing. So this is how science actually works. You look at things, you figure things out, you build a model, conceptual model to begin with in your head. And then you can write it down. You can use geometry and math and things like that to develop how things work, right? And then you say, okay, now we've got this. It may or may not be right. We don't know yet. Let's use what we've done here to predict something else, some other location, some other time, some other event. Let's use it to predict that. Now, flat earthers will say, that's a post-diction. It's not. That's a prediction. But here's the thing. Whatever you want to call it, you are free to do that as well. Go take all of the previous measurements to the sun, right? And then build a geometrical model based on this, the Earth that you claim it is, right? Meld them together. Show how on day of year, at this particular location, at this particular time, the sun was at this angle. Okay, build that model. And then if you want to call it a postdiction, call it a postdiction. That's whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you want to call it. This is just an excuse, obviously. Obviously, it's an excuse because Flat Earth doesn't have a model to do that. We do, and it's right. How is it that we can build a model based on those by looking at things in the sky and get the correct answer? How is it? Because it's correct. That's the whole point. You test whether a model's correct by making predictions, and if it's right, then that's very likely correct. So, I don't have anybody has joined yet. So we've got, what's his name? What was his name? That was in here flapping his face. Where'd he go? Definitely don't block that guy. Okay. Where'd he go? What was his name? I'm sorry. Down direction. Let's look out the window, measure the floor. Yeah, you can do that. You totally can do that. Are you unaware that you can do that? All right. All right. Here we go. This is funny. This is pretty funny. This is the Shane and Alan and Toby in the Aether Cosmology group. They love saying this.
So your mathematical formula will predict it. Do you want me to show this to you in sort of more kindergarten terms?
Gaslighting.
Gaslighting. No, the problem is, Kevin, that you have the mind of a kindergartner, right? He needed to simple it down for you. So, all right. And here's this postdiction whining again.
You get that?
I'm critiquing prediction, but you can call it like this, yeah. But look up the term. When I had to write down.
Wait. Listen.
I had to write down some things. I like you to write down postdiction. Look it up what it is.
I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. This is what a prediction is.
Tells it like it is, doesn't he? This is the misplaced hubris. Kevin has never done science. He doesn't know how to do science. Well, he maybe has done one experiment and it didn't go well. He does not know how to do science. And here he is talking to somebody who's got a PhD in science, a STEM field, having the audacity to think that he gets to talk about, this is how you do science. You've never done it. You don't know how. Lael, if that's you, I know you're not actually flat earther, and I know you're not bringing a model of the flat earth. So if that's you, king of the Flerf, Lael, I know it is. A different time, not right now. Let's see. Now this is the important one though here. This is Kevin, first meeting, Shiva talking to him about the scientific experiment that we're going to be discussing the next week, and then we're all going to bring our predictions.
The standards of everyone else is being polluted, okay? Because you seem to want to pollute people, okay?
No, I like an experiment.
I think you're just saying words. Do you understand this? This is a formula which will predict globe earthers are going to have their formulation. They have 1 week to come up with this formula. You're going to have to come up with yours. Are you capable of doing that?
We can try something, yes.
Something. No, you guys should be able to know math. We gave you guys a week. The original thing was you would do it live.
Okay. Yeah, invite Alan, invite Space Audits Math Genius.
All right, Alan, Space Audits Math Genius, you're invited right now to come on and present the flat Earth model that predicts the angle to the sun. I mean, Kevin was desperately calling out for help. Desperate. He had a week. I don't know why he didn't go to you during that week and get from you, Alan, the model that makes this work. Right? You're a math genius, according to him. And you let him down, Alan. You should have jumped in and said, "Oh, Kevin, you think Alan's a math genius? Alan's gonna come and help you. He's gonna bring you that model that you need." Well, Dr. Shiva posted on X, and I know Alan is on X. Who wants to come? Send me a DM. I don't know if Alan did or did not send him a DM, but I'm guessing he did not. Jack Fetter says, I feel you may have been unfair to Kevin without his milk and cookies, followed by a nap time. He may have been too tired and cranky for playtime. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Shedsy49 says, I can predict the position of the sun. All I need is a D20 and a jar of mayonnaise. What the jar of mayonnaise is for, but you go ahead. Flash Peacock Zoomy says, terrific Tuesday tectonic truth torpedo targeting today's typical flat earth tomfoolery. Oh my goodness. Zoomy. Alexander L says, Alan is the #1 top left. He's just devoid of charisma, so he flies under the radar. Oh yeah. But I gotta say, there are flatties with less charisma who also you'd say, how the hell can that guy fly under the radar? That would be Shame. Like, how does, obviously Shame is not flying under the radar. He's walking slowly. It's kind of a trundle under the radar. Caucasian Sensation says, member super chat, the earth is obviously flat because cheese wheels. Yes. Cheem Crees. Roger that says, calling for Cubby because Wookiees need well-insulated basements and apple-flavored horse bays. I love that. I love that video. Alexander L for $5 says, Shiva started out so nice, but he realized Flerfs are liars. Now he's just crashing out on their idiocy. Yeah, I mean, he was fed up. He's like, enough of this crap. Flatties, come on, Flatties. 4 Flatties. It's been 30 minutes and no Flatties have come in to save Kevin. Kevin, send them. Send Alan. Send Shame. Send Witspit. Somebody's got to have that flat earth model that you agreed to present. Tim Davidson says, if something else can be finger licking good, would the opposite be toe sucking bad? Oh, gross. I wonder how Mikey's doing. Speaking of toes. Wicked Pisses says, Flerfs got shite. They don't even have that. Alexander L says, Alan has had years to get an AA in math from a community college. That's all the math knowledge he needs. Now remember, he dipped out at algebra. I'm just teaching algebra today. Okay. So, and then one more from last week. Now, remember, what was the margin of error that he said? Well, in the second meeting, he talked about the margin of, like, oh, I had a margin of error. Oh, but listen.
I have some questions about the precision. So, Kevin, you listed off the variables you were going to capture, but I missed what I thought was probably going to be the most critical one, is the margin of error of the slope angle, and the margin of error of the second, the width of the beam, and third, the margin of error of the width of the beam.
The width of the beam is 0 degrees is the one. The second is 6 degrees, and because you have you check the interception point of those two beams, you can see the end interception points, and it's in between. You measure the strength of both, and when they are at the same strength, you measure that multiply. It multiplies. I saw it on I showed it on the how the beams come out, but there is no because there are multiple lines which are on a line of those interception points. There is nothing out of that line. It cannot be out of that.
Yeah, he did say that. He said 0. Now, in case you're wondering, this is the beam is there's two beams, and they're angled. They're directional beams, and they're horizontal antennas. So they're basically sending up like this, right? From the side, they're going like this, right? And they're angled away from each other so that there's an overlap between them. And of course, as the beam, antennas don't send in perfect beams. They send in kind of a donut, right? Think of it always wants to be a donut. So what you're going to do is you're going to use things to concentrate the donut shape. So rather than a donut going out, right? If you imagine it, the donut going this way, right? Going out and getting bigger and bigger as it goes out. What you're going to do is you're going to like slice half of it and have it like reflect so that you have a double donut going this direction, right? And then it's going out just half a donut going the one direction. And then you form it a little more, you do some more things with that beam so that basically it comes out like as much as you can as a wide donut going out, right? And then so there's one, but there's two, right? There's the first one goes like that, and the second one you aim up a little more so that those two beams overlap in the middle, and their frequencies are close to each other, and so you can measure when those two are intersecting with each other and by how much, what the strength is. So it's what he's talking about. You can measure the strength. So that beam then gets projected out from the ground toward where the airplane goes. And the airplane their idea was to have the airplane fly at a constant elevation, and it enters one of the beams. And then when it gets to the part where the other beam starts to come in, you can start, the radio starts picking up the other beam. It's weakest, right? Super weak when you first get it. Then what happens is when you get toward the middle where those two overlap, then the strength of those two beams is equal. Now, how do you measure the strength of two radio beams being equal? With a measurement device, and all measurement devices have a margin of error. So you say, okay, well, this one is negative 21 dB, and this one is negative 21 dB. Well, is that enough precision? What if it's negative 21.4 and negative 21.6 dB? Oh, no, they're not the same then, are they? Okay, well, let's just call it the same at negative 21. Oh, but maybe that's not right. Maybe we need more precision than that. Okay, so let's wait till it's they're both at neg 21.5. Okay, now they're both at neg 21.5, but this one's at neg 21.58, and this one's at neg 21.52. Oh, well, now we need more digits. You can always get more digits when you measure things. So at some point you say, well, this is all the sensitivity we can get out of that instrument, and stop and use that instrument. Or say, well, we need more sensitivity. We're going to need to make a better instrument. And when you make that better instrument, what you're going to get is another 1 or 2 sig fig in precision, right? And the thing about measurement devices, and basically lots of things in life, in order to improve the quality by like that next step, that next one step, you often increase the cost by about 10x. Not always 10x, but a large portion, right? So if you're like, well, I want to measure to, neg 21.55. Okay, I want to be able to measure that. But I can only measure to neg 21.5. Well, to get that next step might 10x the cost. But I want to get another digits. Well, it might be another 10x the cost. Do you need that? Well, no, you don't need that, because that the primary flight display that they're looking at isn't designed to measure things precisely like that. It's got a little diamond on it. And when you get into the beam and you're on one side of the beam, that diamond's at the top or bottom of the display, right? And as you get toward where the two beams are equal in strength, then that little diamond gets toward the middle of the display. And if you keep going, then that diamond will slide off the top or bottom, whichever direction it's going to go, right? And so when it's in the middle, you're not measuring it. Kevin's like, we're going to measure the strength. No, you're not. You're going to look at the primary flight display and you're going to look where that diamond is. And when that diamond's in the middle of the display, you're going to say, boom, we're in the middle of the display. But wait a second. How long is that diamond in the middle of the display? Unknown. We don't know how long that diamond is in the middle of the display. And is it an analog display or a digital display? If it's a digital display, well, then it's got pixels, and maybe you can actually say, okay, boom, it clicked into the middle of that display, and then boom, it clicked out of the middle of that display. And we can actually discretely measure when it clicked in and clicked out, and then we can maybe average the time. How precise is that? Unknowable. That device is not designed to produce that type of a measurement. So can you be certain on that? No, you cannot. So you need to put appropriate error bars on that. And so I, in my analysis of it, I guessed. And when actually doing an experiment like this, you'd actually not guess, you'd put in the actual number, right? And so if it was digital, and if you could actually see the pixels move, then you get a video of it happening, right? And then when the pixels actually move in, you say, okay, there we go. That begins the clock, and if we have a digital video of it, we know when it went in, and we can know when it went out. And then we can say, okay, well, it was in that section there for 15 seconds. The plane is flying at 120 knots. That's 120 nautical miles per hour. Which means that, well, if it was in there for 15 seconds, that's 1/2 of a nautical mile. Is that what I said? Right, a quarter of a nautical mile. So awesome. There's our margin of error, quarter of a nautical mile on that. How, when it's in that Kevin had no clue. He's like talking about measuring the margin of error to be 0. But also, so that's one. But also that overlapping beam there's a stretch of distance where that beam, with the precision that the instrument can measure, is the same. It's the same strength within the precision of that instrument. So you need that margin of error too. I looked it up. I looked up the margin of error. And I included it in my presentation. It's like 0.14 degrees. Kevin didn't like that. Okay, that was part 1. Now here we are. Let me check here. We're 43 minutes in. I don't have any flat earthers coming to redeem Kevin. What in the world is going on? John Blue says, can you explain that again? We all zoned out when you said double donut. That's a good question. Kevin didn't know what a margin of error was, it seemed. But so later in the first meeting, he said, oh, it's 1%. Where'd he get that from? That's the thing. When you can tell when numbers are just guessed, and that's fine. You can guess. You can say, well, we guessed at 1%. Okay, fine. But could you actually look it up? You should be able to look it up. It's his experiment. Remember, these were people that volunteered to be on the panel. Kevin volunteered to be on the panel, right? To bring his own experiment to the panel. Kevin did this. It wasn't Man of Stone forcing him. Shiva didn't force him to come on the panel and present somebody else's experiment. Kevin volunteered to come on and present an experiment. And the experiment he chose to present was somebody else's experiment. That's on him. If he wanted to do an experiment that was his experiment, why didn't he do an experiment that was his? Obviously, Man of Stone was pushing him to do that, and he just was dumb enough to say, okay. Anyway, so now here we are, part 2, the second one. So this was this recent couple days ago. Today's Tuesday. This was on Saturday. Here we go.
Okay, so in order to present math for a flat Earth's sun, I could go to Bislin's model. Notice the conditional tense that I could do it. The sun is rising and setting their perspective on the azimuthal grid of vision. We could go, again, the conditional tense, to the source code and extract the formulas from there and show the coordinate system transfers. And we couldn't agree on who was first, because you said I couldn't use your formulas, your distances, and you would say you couldn't use mine.
Sure. Yeah, we know who's first. That's a globe model. So Walter Bislin made a model. He started with the Earth being a globe, and with the sun being 150 million kilometers away, and with the moon being 380 million kilometers away, 1,000, whatever. Don't quote me on that. And the angular tilt of the Earth being 23.5, and base and use an ephemeris, I think, DEM, anyway. It's a complete globe model with the Earth in the solar system orbiting the sun. And then he warped it and put it on this. Okay? So it was a warping of it, not a coordinate transform. A coordinate transform doesn't change the geometry, right? A coordinate transform is, for example, you can use a Cartesian coordinate system, right? X, Y, right? And then you can say, well, we want to use a polar coordinate system. We're going to place the origin at the same place on both the polar coordinate system and the Cartesian coordinate system. The polar coordinate system, rather than x, y, a linear distance of x and y, we're going to have a linear distance that's the radius. And the Zoom call took a dump. Anyway, if any flatties want to join, you're going to have to let me know. All right. Unpin. Zoom did this before it just died. I don't know what's up with Zoom. Anyway, so you take and you say, rather than XY, we're going to use radius, which is the distance from the origin, but we don't know where. We just know how far it is from the origin. And then the angle, right? So I particularly loved this part of Algebra 2 in high school, polar coordinate system. So we could use that. And you can place a point on the surface of the coordinate system, and you can get coordinates for it in both x, y, and radius theta, or radius angle. You can do that. Similarly, for a three-dimensional coordinate system, you can use the three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system, x, y, z, right? X, y, z. And you could say, well, let's use a cylindrical coordinate system too. So a cylindrical coordinate system is basically a polar coordinate system that's then not just got distance from the origin and an angle, but it's also got a z. Basically, it's the same z, right? How high or low it is in relation to the origin. That's a cylindrical coordinate system. You can do that, and you can place a point in three-dimensional space, and you can express it in coordinates of x, y, z, and r theta z for the cylindrical coordinate system, or you can use a spherical coordinate system, which is a distance from the center and then two angles. You got an angle going this way, and you've got an angle going this way. And latitude, longitude, is two of the three parts of a spherical coordinate system, where the distance from the origin is the surface of the Earth. which can vary, right? So they call it elevation, right? We don't call it R. We use elevation. So that's the spherical coordinate system. But again, you can express them all within three-dimensional space as any of those, and you can then do a coordinate transform between them. But that's not what Walter Bislin's model does. It does a projection. So it takes the sphere that is the surface of the Earth, and it warps it into this, right? So what used to be the single point that's on the south pole of it is now this really wide thing. That's all that Walter Bislin did. It's not a coordinate transform, it's a warping. And when you warp, you can't map points between them anymore directly. They're not the same points. So Walter Bislin's model took the sun, which is 150 million kilometers away, and put it above this by warping it. It's not a model of flat Earth. It's a model of the globe that's been transformed, and it doesn't actually show how flat Earth works, because what has to happen when you do that is not only do you warp the surface of the Earth, now you warp everything else. The position of the sun, the path that the light takes from the sun to the Earth, the path has to warp too. But they're claiming it's reality. When you claim it's reality, okay, well then you don't get to warp it. You need to show how there's something in three-dimensional space here, and there's somebody in three-dimensional space on the surface of the Earth, and there should be normally a straight line between them. You should be able to see it, but you can't see it. Why not? Something else causing that to happen. Unknown things. So what what Shame St. Pelagier actually did is just acknowledge that the globe is the only way to do it. But Kevin, being a dullard, it's like, oh, we could do that. Conditionally, we could, but he's not gonna. And he's like, we can look at the source code. You look at the source code, you find 150 million kilometers. That's the globe. You look at the source code and you find 6,371 kilometers for the radius. That's a globe. So, all right. Here we go, Kevin. Yeah. How bad is this going to be?
Okay, so in order to present math for a flat Earth's sun, I could go to Bislin's model. Notice the conditional tense that I could do it. The sun is
so I'm
rising
replaying this.
and setting their perspective on the azimuthal grid of vision. We could go, again, the conditional tense, to the source code and extract the formulas from there and show the coordinate system transfers. And we couldn't agree on who was first, because you said I couldn't use your formulas, your distances, and you would say you couldn't use mine. But some first things that goes against this model, and I will continue with the values. We don't expect the sun to behave as solid object. We don't assume the dynamic mechanism. So we don't know the dynamic mechanism. It could be magnetism involved. And we don't assume the position of the actual sun. It could be more, we don't know where it is exactly. We only have the visible sun. So it could be a parabolic reflecting sun somewhere involved, or as I said, magnetism play a role.
Well, it could be. So put it together. It could be a parabolically reflecting sun. Okay, we'll model that. Get math genius Alan to model that. Of course, Alan isn't a math genius. He's an idiot. He can't model it. There's no flat earther that can do any of this modeling. Do you know why? Because it's very obvious. If the Earth were like this, then in order for nighttime to happen, the sun would have to be here. That's why the ancients gave up flat Earth, because they quickly discovered it doesn't work. And he says, well, we don't expect the sun to act like a physical object. Why not? You can bounce radar off of it, and you can time how long it takes for that radar to go there and come back, which strangely enough, Kevin, your DME, the digital measurement, I don't know, the distance between the airplane and the runway is measured by using the speed of light. Kevin, if you're going to accept that we can measure the distance between the airplane and something on the ground using the speed of light, we can also use we can also measure the distance between the Earth and the sun by bouncing radar off of it. We did that 150 million kilometers away. That is the first law of Flerf. It's the first law of Flerf. And the fourth, I guess. The first law of Flerf is every Flerf citation contradicts flat Earth. So really this would be fourth law. Yeah, because the fourth law is every Flerf explanation for something contradicts some other Flerf explanation for something. So if Flerfs must reject radar bouncing off the sun because it always returns 150 million kilometers away. That's what it did. So they have to reject that. It's mandatory for them to reject that. But then, and why? Well, they liked it. Their favorite thing is to claim things about the two-way speed of light by not understanding this isn't actually a problem. Okay, well then the airplane also, you couldn't measure the distance using it. It can't be both. Can't be both. Right. Any flatties in the chat who want to bring in their model? Just go ahead. John Blue says bouncing radar off the sun is bad. It is. That particular radar array that they used was massive. And it might be a little more challenging to get that size of a radar array today. I don't think you would need that much power anymore. There's better ways to do it, but at the time, the amount of power that they output, I don't think would pass the FCC rules. Whale Panties says, I will say Kevin and all flat earthers are known for their exploration and experimenting with and exploring their sexuality. No, not reading the rest of that. Sorry, that I didn't know where that was headed. Now I do. All right. Tell us more, Kevin.
As we see in the torus field.
Oh my gosh. That's so dumb.
So our hypothesis is that our vision isn't Euclidic, but visually curved. So lights in the sky doesn't rise or set via Earth curve, but by perspective. It could be one reason. And that we see not only the sun rising or setting or alleged objects, or let's rather say lights in the sky rise and set, but we see rays above us rising and setting, indicates to this factor, to this hypothesis.
Yeah, it's space isn't Euclidean because it's curved visual space, right? Is that this is thanks to Gleam. If anybody knows who Gleam is a flat earther from England who likes to bring in these papers and completely ignore what it is that they're actually about. Basically, well, remember, first law of Flerf, every Flerf citation contradicts flat Earth. Well, anyway, here is the paper that he was talking about. Direct measurement of curvature of visual space. Now, they think that this is actually like reality is curved, right? That reality is curved. So this is what they think. This is a real paper published in 2000 in the journal Perception. perception. This isn't a physics journal. This is perception. This is a kind of a psychology field. Anyway, introduction. People routinely commit appreciable and typically systematic errors when asked to estimate geometrical properties of their environment from a fixed vantage point. Now, this right here tells us all that we need to know already. We already know this is about human beings, people, about their errors when asked to estimate geometrical properties. This is human infallibility is what this is about. Remember the name of the journal is Perception. So right here we're saying this is about people that can't identify things precisely visually with their eyeballs. Again, I'll tell you that the name of this is Direct Measurement of the Curvature of Visual Space, and I'll grab the DOI here for anybody that's interested. There you go. In the chat is the DOI. I'm not going to read the whole thing, of course. It's a bit too much, but anyway, when we mention points or lines, we have to be understood as mere formal abstractions, not realities, since we're primarily interested in the depth dimension, human depth perception, right? We must limit our investigation to the horizontal plane through the eyes, not through a measurement device, through the eyes. Here you go. This is the theory of depth perception, is based on a geometrical analysis of bicentric perspective. Yeah. All right. This is an aside. This isn't directly about it, but let me read this. Here's a very simple example. Consider the geographical triangle: Amsterdam in Europe, Boston in the United States, and Cape Town, which is in South Africa. That forms a triangle. This triangle has an area of this much. From Amsterdam, Boston is this length. From Amsterdam, Boston is 5,500 kilometers at 20 degrees 30 north of west. Cape Town is almost 10,000 kilometers at this distance, right? This angle. The angle sum of the triangle is 234 degrees. This differs appreciably from the Euclidean 180 degrees. This is globe evidence right here. Thus, the Earth is significantly curved. This is their paper. This is right here, the first law of Flerf. They're giving this an example of because the people that this is Perception is the name of this journal. This isn't a physics journal. This isn't a surveying journal, but they're talking about some geometry in here, which is maybe outside the normal scope of what people in this field are looking at. Anyway, the curvature equals 6,378 kilometers, which is the radius of the globe. Anyway, that's just the aside that in their paper, yeah, globe, first law. Anyway, here's a description of the setup. This is just an example. They were farther away from each other. And what's happening is this lady here is using this remote control here to turn this box. And there's an arrow on the box, and her assignment is to turn it so that this arrow points at this sphere, and they're significantly farther apart. This photo is just set up staged so that they can see what they're doing, but they're farther apart, right? And then what they're doing is they're evaluating whether or not people are very good at correctly aiming this arrow to the orb. So what they found is that when people are near, when they're close to it, some value, they're off by a certain amount, in a certain direction. And when they're far away, they're off the other direction, right? They're either pointing too far, too near, whatever they're doing. They're making a triangle too big or too small, right? And that's what they found. that human depth perception of this particular box here, they're not very good at, and they were off in one direction too far and in a different direction when it was near. That's what they did. Let's see here. Here, the observer at V, right here, points the pointer P at the target T. That's what I just described. The pointer is illustrated in the two orientations of figure 3. Notice that apart from binocular stereo, that's two eyes, stereo, binocular vision, various monocular cues are available that might reveal the orientation of the pointer. So you have our binocular stereo vision, plus we have other cues that might help us. Anyway, the point isn't that. Whatever. Great article, whatever, go read it. But here's the thing. How did they know? How did they know what this angle was? Right here. How did they know these angles? They measured them somehow so that when they went to the person, when they went to where the person put the actual arrow, they could see how far they were off, right? So they're like, oh, well, this particular, this angle right here, phi, right? Phi is let's say it's 85 degrees, right? And then the experimenter is like, okay, what did the observer do when they were asked to put it at the orb there? What angle did they actually do? Well, they need to know the angle that they actually put it in. They know the angle that it really is. The angle that it really is, they measured using what? What do you think they used to actually, in reality, measure this angle phi? Not what the test subjects did, right? They might have had it be 75 when it's actually 85, but it wasn't. But how did they know what it actually was? How did they know it was actually 85? They used a theodolite. Layout of positions was done with conventional geodesic aids, measuring tape, and a theodolite. They used a theodolite to measure the angles. So flat earthers that cite this paper are declaring that theodolites are accurate measurement devices that are not subject to the imperfections of the curvature of visual space by human binocular vision. Every flat earther that's citing this, from Gleam to Witspit to Alan, who's can't do math to save his life, to Shame Saint Plagiaire, and to poor Lambda Slaughter Kevin, it's not talking about actual reality. It's talking about human inability to measure angles. And they're actually agreeing, by citing this paper, they're actually agreeing that a theodolite is an absolutely acceptable tool to measure angles between things. But Kevin wants to use this paper as a reason to not allow theodolites to measure angles to things. The self-owning there. Good job, Kevin. Good job, Kevin, and everybody else. It's almost like Gleam is introducing these things into their world to mock them. Thank you, Gleam. Mock away. You know, the flat earthers talk about, other flat earthers that aren't in their crew being control opposition to make them look stupid. Well, Gleam, you made them look stupid. Good job. Good job, Gleam. All right. We got a little more Euclidean here.
Papers which suggest this is the direct measurement of curvature of visual space, for example. So it is deeply in question whether we see in Euclidean space all the assumptions that you have to make for your angles, and that you assume the globe only. You would need to see straight, but you see down here, it's certainly not Euclidean. It's at best, it's
Is Ramen Noodles in the chat here? Ramen Ortiz? If he is, you want a Zoom link? I can shoot it to you. But Raman, I want your model. I want every flat earther's model for predicting the position of the sun. I'll give you a position, and then you tell me, and a day, and you tell me ahead of time. I'll do the same with the globe, and you tell me ahead of time what the sun position will be. Right? Now, if you use this, then that's the assignment. But if you use the globe, you're just affirming that the globe is correct. So, all right. Anyway, thank you so much, Gleam and Kevin, for that. Oh, chef's kiss. Anyway, it baffles. Obviously Kevin didn't read it. Obviously, none of them read it. Anyway.
Yeah, so one second.
It's a question, but wait, one question. One thing I let you
No, 1 second. Kevin?
Presentation.
Kevin.
I will present the formula. I presented one formula. I don't know why it's already starting like this, that he could speak.
No, I just wanted to make sure that the goal is, this is not a debate. It's not the globe earth people are not saying anything about flat earth. You're starting off by talking about the globe earth model being invalid. The goal was, please present your assumptions about flat and then derive your model.
Look at the hypothesis here.
Yeah, so what are your assumptions?
It's a flat ground and visual curved. So for the kinematic,
so what is your
for the kinematics? It's for the perspective sun. This model is pretty accurate for only the kinematic part.
Can you just hold it there? Can you just hold it there? So you're saying the Earth is a round, flat dish. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't assume the ground, and let me please speak, make my...
Yeah, I just want to know what your assumption is.
I didn't interject at all. You have to interject me already as I could let you speak 20 minutes. I didn't attack. I showed this torus field where the sun could go to the outside. It's not helping when you cannot make let me read my points of the variables.
The live chat, I gotta fix that. But yeah, poor Kevin. So Kevin was going, and I think that either Kevin was coached, or maybe Kevin has just decided, like, I'm not gonna stop no matter what they do. So Shiva's in there trying to just correct him, be, look, you aren't doing what you said you were gonna do. So, let me help you. What is my Facebook or not my Facebook, my Firefox is not happy. All right. Restarting Firefox. So he showed, I'll get to the torus field in a second. But there we go. Hold on. I think we got it. It's all over the place. Look at that. Hold on. There, look at that. Oh my goodness. What a mess. Let's do pop out chat. I don't know why it went a little goofy there. So give me a second. Almost there. Apologies for... Well, maybe not. Like, there it is. All right, we're getting closer. We're getting there. All right. There it is. All right, apologies to that. Yeah, Kevin was hell-bent on reading a script. Kevin just was like, I'm just going to plow forward. Like, but what was Kevin doing? He was not presenting his model. He's like, well, it's not curved. It's non-Euclidean space. Okay, fine. Put that in your model. But that paper doesn't do anything for them because it doesn't give them the answers that they would need. All that they have is, even if it were, it's not correct, right? But if the best they could do is, it's not Euclidean. Okay, what is it then? It's not Euclidean. Yeah, got that. What is it? Not what is not it. It's not Euclidean. No, my gosh. But that paper, the paper is funny because they're in a field. They did this test in a field. So it's maybe, I don't know, 20 meters, maybe 30 meters is where that break point is, where, you know, both on the near side of 20 meters, human perception is one way. And on the far side, human perception is a different way. And so what does that mean for this? How does it fix this? It still doesn't. It still doesn't, because if the sun is here, right, and you're standing here, non-Euclidean space doesn't cause the sun that's here to appear this direction, right? You're going to look at it and it's going to be, well, non-Euclidean will say, oh, well, maybe the light curves, right? Maybe it goes like this a little bit, and you don't see it due north. You see it, you know, northwest or northeast or something like that. No, not. It doesn't solve your problem. But anyway, go ahead and do it. Put that into your model. And Shiva's like, what the hell are you doing? Just put it in your model. Instead of bitching, put it in your model. All you can do is bitch, though. You can't do anything because you're not big boys. You don't get to play with the big boys. This is what happens when you try to play with the big boys, right? I debate. I piss on you idiots for fun, right? And I don't just tear you up. Shiva's doing that, right? Because he doesn't care. I don't just tear the flatties up. I toy with them like a cat toying with a mouse that's almost dead, right? For entertainment. I take flat earth idiocy, turn it into entertainment for you, right? And I monetize it. And when they hate that. So, but Shiva's like, no, get to work. You had an assignment, go do it. And he's like, and Kevin thought that he was going to come into this like he's in a Discord server or something and just sit around and bitch about the globe. No, you have responsibilities and there's consequences if you don't do them. So get to work. He didn't want to do it. And, you know, this is the kind of stuff that happens.
So you said that we can bring 10 people, our best, the top 10 you said here, top 10 people we can bring. So you know that I'm not the best guy for this. There are a lot of this. And you said we have to agree to one experiment. And I just want to share where you said this.
Okay, wait a second. What the fuck are you doing right now?
I will.
Stop.
We have to agree to one
stop.
experiment, and that's where I.
No, stop.
Calder V says, can we hear about me and Craig? Yes, Craig and I are going to do a dual stream. Maybe we could do it on Thursday. So, Dougal Dog is here. Says, what? I didn't realize that Hal had been played by Toon and all this time. Why? I never. Well, hey, Dougal Dog, I love that video. Very good. So instead of presenting his model, what does Kevin do? He starts whining like a little baby. You was gonna do this. I'm not the best person. Why did you volunteer then, you idiot? You're the one here. You had a week to have your buddies give to you the thing you needed, and they didn't help you. Kevin, your buddies didn't help you. They took a giant steaming dump on you. It was bad. How did I stay so stoic and didn't fall off my chair laughing? I was working hard. The first week was even harder because I had FTFE. Craig was right next to me. Why didn't Kevin bring his own experiment? That's a great question. Kevin volunteered. Kevin didn't say, I volunteer to go as Stone's proxy. Kevin said, I volunteer to go as me. Whatever. Dumb. All right. This one's 6 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm not going to play those. I got, no, I think this one is good. This is a 4 minute, 4 minute one. All right. Let me read a couple super chats first, and then I'll play this one. Because it's these interactions between Kevin and Shiva is what this really, maybe I'll play them all. I got to play them all. That's what these interactions are. This is what it's about. That's what this is. Rossi says, remember, Dirth sent people he thought would shine in the Shiva thing. He didn't want Flat Earth to look completely stupid. Oh, that's right. He wanted what? Witspit. Yeah, Witspit, who, to be clear, messaged Shiva, DM'd Shiva, said, I'm in. Shiva said, send me your email address. And then Shiva sent an email to everybody, to all of us, me included. Send your bio, something basic. You don't need to reveal any information you don't want to reveal. Send a photo, whatever you want. That's it. Right? So we know your background and we have a picture to put up on the thumbnail. That's it. 4 days. No answer from Witspit. I was hoping that Witspit was going to show up with his model. Actually get his feet held to the fire to try to do science. I know Flat Earth can't do it. It doesn't matter which Flat Earther shows up. They can't do science. No Flat Earther can do science. Doesn't matter who. Kevin, crying for help from them won't help. Dirth, no Flat Earther can do science. And Dirth's like, I'm not the right guy to go. Nobody's the right guy to go. This is the myth of Flat Earthers about other Flat Earthers that they respect. Whatever Flat Earther you respect, you Flat Earthers, they're no good. They fooled you too. Witspit fooled Dirth into thinking Witspit is smart. Alan fooled Kevin into thinking that Alan is smart. But Alan is like, I need somebody else. Help me out, somebody. Because he's not smart either, and he knows it inside. He needs somebody else to help him. He can't do math. No Flat Earther can do math. None of them. Jack Fetter says, I'd also like to officially pre-register for all the lower tier Flerfs like Vlad, JJ, Cubby, Vika, and the other Middle Earth Flerfs. Nuh-uh. Yes. This on if you go to Facebook, I posted yesterday about this, almost 1,000 comments today before this started. I'm posting saying, hey, Flatties, bring your model. And instead, they just are posting memes and doing the same old dumb stuff. You got to prove this. Why do you think that testing a model, doing a scientific experiment, establishes the shape of the Earth? Well, that's how you do science. That's why. Isn't there that one Flerf that could do math? No, he's not. He's gone off the grid. He has a master's degree in mechanical engineering. Best I can tell, that is the case. He went by Mind of God, Shiraj Patel, but he's been silent for a long time. He thought that God was deceiving people. So it's a little bit of a minor position, where they'll some of them eventually work through to figure out that every single thing about reality confirms the Earth is a globe, but they refuse to drop the pre-selected conclusion about flat. And so he's like, well, then God is making it look like a globe, even though it's flat. That's insane. That's literally insane. But yeah, that's the position for him. He could do math. But yep. Arnold says, how do you say "nuh-uh" in the dying final chirps of a smoke detector in Morse code? I don't know. I guess we'll have to ask. Who do we have to ask for that? It was Icy Spin and Crikey. Who was he arguing with? Anyway, the Sun Express says, meanwhile, in former emperors being real cool dudes, 91-year-old Emperor Emeritus Akihito is still publishing papers on new species of fish. Wow. Really cool. Burnham says flat earthers only have to measure to 1/2 inches. Burnham says it's all girth and no length. Oh, ouch. Oh yeah, Jack Fetter. It was Jack Fetter and his final chirps of a smoke detector in Morse code. Arnold says margarine is 100% error. Truth seekers like Kevin just eat sticks of real butter. I'll see myself out. Oh my gosh. Caucasian sensation for $5 says double donut, you say. Thanks for making me crave Krispy Kreme, Toon. You're welcome. For a while, there was a Krispy Kreme, a couple of them around the Twin Cities area. And then something happens and they're all gone. Jack Fetter for $5 says, surely it was a mistake. The Facatzoid wasn't included. Do I remember him saying they've taken away all the globe arguments using flat earth math? Yeah, that's the kind of thing he would say, wouldn't it? Of course, this is what's hilarious. Flat earthers like to say that, but they don't have the math. It's again to the point of flat earthers thinking that other flat earthers are good at something. They got fooled. So Facatzoid got fooled by Oakley when Oakley said all the math, blah blah, and Facatzoid's like, oh yeah, he's got the math. He's so smart, and that's it. That's the end of it. There is no math. They say Earth is measured flat, but they don't have any measurements. Where's those measurements? Nowhere. It's just a religious mantra to fool the gullible followers. Yadawat says, is the lack of a model proof of the fourth law of Flerf? No. It's just a lack. The fourth law being every Flerf explanation contradicts some other Flerf explanation. They know that if they did have a model, it would definitely contradict everything, including actual observations. Zebulon 181 says, I'm a flatty, but you couldn't understand my model. Very nice. No flatty understands any flatty model. The gig boss man says flat earth is ludicrous. Why would a Flerf stand on the idiot podium and expose their proven ignorance? Also, do you ever use my Panama City footage? I can't say that I remember. I get a lot, and I apologize. A lot of people send me a lot of cool stuff, and it's sometimes a bit much. That's why the Flerf Wiki exists. Everybody is invited to create your own stuff on the Flerf Wiki and say, here it is. Here's a page, and it's got some cool observation or a video or something. And you don't need me to put it on my website. You don't need to put it into my, right. You can do it. And then you can just point to it. That's a great way to do it. And if you need help, right. There's a few people around like Peter Markley, Dora Nku, Gaudens Raber that are well-versed in doing things on the Flerf Wiki. And you could do that with their help, at least get started. And real, when I want to know what to do on there, I just go to an LLM and I'm like, hey, on a media wiki, how do I do this? And it'll tell me. It's pretty cool. So, But yeah, thank you, Gig Boss Man. Jay Donachie for $10 says, I really think Kevin was a patsy for the Flat Earthers. Flat Earther used him to keep Flat Earth alive at all costs, to put doubt in the mind of normal people on the fence. I don't know. It was not a good look. It was pretty bad for Flat Earth. It was just right. And that is the treatment that they deserve. Let me make it clear. Shiva was harsh on him. Yeah. Use some language that people some people wouldn't say. But every single bit of it was earned. Flat Earth is just a bunch of idiots lying about stuff. They don't understand science. Right? They like to say, oh, Occam's razor. Wait a second. Occam's razor. Occam's razor is when two explanations produce the same prediction. The one that has the least assumptions is most likely the correct one. Flat Earth never gets to participate in Occam's razor because Flat Earth does not produce predictions. You have to produce a prediction in order to be eligible for Occam's razor. It's never happened. Never once has Flat Earth done that. Well, I'll amend that. Flat Earth has made predictions like this one. So they've done step 1, make a prediction. Step 2, a prediction that matches the observation the same as the globe does. That's never happened. So, all right, Flat Earthers, this is your chance. Join in right there in the chat. Shoot me an email, mctoon@mctoon.net. I will pop you a Zoom link and you can come in and set things straight. An hour and a half and nothing. Unfornicated says, are you going to play part with the signs? Of course I am. I cropped all the signs out. Mr. E-Man says, very few people thought that the Flat Earthers would do any work. Most thought they would not show. I was surprised when he showed. I really was. I was sitting there and he wasn't in there when it was start time. I'm like, oh, smartest thing Kevin ever did, but I guess not. Guess not. Nick N says, Ryan was the smartest Flerf on the panel. No, he was not. He showed up. Globe Slayer was the smartest Flerf on the panel. He did not show up. Alyssum says, love from Oz, just joined. Kevin got a model yet? Nope. Bob says, Kev said they measure many times. Error margin vanishes. Well, it doesn't vanish. But when you do measure many times, you can get a tighter control on it. Yes. All right. I'm going to play. It's important. It's important. I'm going to play this 6-minute clip between Kevin and Shiva. It's absolutely great.
Sun observation, refutation.
Show us your assumptions of your model.
So if this mathematical model is able to predict that observation, then you have evidence that the Earth is flat or the Earth is round. This is not logically true.
You're not sharing your screen, Kevin.
Your prediction is actually instead a post-diction.
We don't see your screen.
Oh.
He didn't want to. He just wanted to plow through.
Show us the derivation of your model. That's called science.
You stopped my screen share.
I didn't stop anything. No bullshitting.
Uh-oh. Well, there's the problem.
So make it big screen.
Yeah, so show us the assumptions and the mathematical derivation of your model for predicting the sun, assuming the Earth is flat. Go ahead.
I have to say that only because one model is adjusted for one or several phenomena, assuming lots of uncontrolled variables, that's not the definitive falsification process for other models. We have long lat computing, 1% is only measured for the system we could use, everyone could use. And you, from the beginning, said FMA is an example. It has clear variables. The F equals MA because there is an object, but we don't know the object here. And I have to speak as opposing party here that I didn't agree from the beginning to do this.
Yes, you did. That's the point of the panel.
Definitive thing to determine the shape of the Earth, and that is what I would suggest. You do the
what are your
with this
assumptions
thing.
of your flat Earth model?
We are affirming the consequence. If the Earth is a globe, for example, you say, then there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. If there is a 24-hour sun.
Wait, stop. You're not following the instructions. Stop. You're like a fucking 2-year-old. What is the instructions were what you agreed to? You would come to this meeting with the assumptions of flat Earth and derive a model. All you're doing is you're attacking the globe model. Bullshit. I'm not going to let you do that in this forum. You guys have been fucking doing this for ad infinitum. Where is your assumptions of flat Earth and derive your model? Period. Are you going to do that or not? Are you capable of doing that? If you're not, you should get out of this fucking game.
I'm not the right guy to show the models. It will be shaped here.
You guys a week.
Balance space models. You can use him.
Stop.
I show you this model. Okay, you will see this model.
Time out.
You will
Time out.
look
You're
at this
playing.
model.
Please
No,
mute him.
I show this model now.
By the game. He's not
I
playing
show
by
this
the
model
rules.
now.
Please mute this fucking guy. Same deception.
I can give brief info on that model he's showing right now.
Wait a second, Mike. Rules were set in place from day one in 2 pre-meetings. Dave Weiss was invited. The fucking guy chickened out and ran away because he's full of shit. So we decided that we would follow the scientific method. We agreed. Yeah, you would come up with the assumptions today and the model, and you're not doing that. So either you don't have it or you're bullshitting. I'm not going to let you waste my time, my family's time, with your fucking bullshit. Do you have the goddamn model? Yes or no? Do you have a mathematical equation, Kevin? Yes or no?
Thumbs up. He does. Look at that.
Do you have
Does
a
he?
mathematical equation for
Does
predicting
he?
the sun and the airplane for both things using a mathematical model? Yes or no?
The airplane, I have a lot to say still, yes. But
No. For 2. Everyone, I started this forum, and we've been talking about this over 2 weeks. Do you have the mathematical model for assuming the Earth is flat, for predicting the sun's location? It's a yes or no question.
Yes, I show the
Okay, so show us your
derivation of the yes,
Okay,
I
stop.
show the derivation
The
of the
answer is,
radius.
do you
Yes.
have the model
Yes,
for the location of the sun?
I can show
assuming
you.
it's
You
flat.
see my screen?
Yeah, but I'm asking you a question. You're not answering the question.
He's played a video.
I don't want to go forward if you're not going to show us a model of the prediction of the sun, assuming the Earth is flat. Are you going to show that, like Dan did for the round Earth? Yes or no?
I show this Bislin model for kinematically equivalent.
I'm not asking that. You see how hard it is to get an answer out of you?
No, I'm answering.
Do you have the model of predicting where the location of the sun is using whatever grid system you want, assuming in your view the Earth is flat? Do you have a model that you can tell me, or Ryan, or Suresh, or Dan, or anyone in the world where the sun's location is going to be if the Earth is flat? Do you have that mathematical predictive model? Yes or no?
We have this radius derivation of your vision. Why the sun?
No. You're not answering the question.
I'm answering.
No. Now I'm going to.
I can't bring a sentence.
Does anyone else understand the question here I'm asking him? This is why we're doing this whole forum, and it looks like you don't have it.
I'm shut down. I'm shut down.
No, it looks like you don't have it. And if you don't have it,
I've showed 3 variables here.
do you have a
Oh, it stopped. Okay, that was the end of it. Yeah, man, just being belligerent. That was so gold. He said he has a model. When he was muted, she was like, "Do you have a model?" Yeah, he gives a thumbs up because, yeah. And then he doesn't show the model. He freaking lied. He knew he didn't have the model. He wanted to play a video. You want to play a video where it's, and I know what that video is. That's a video where somebody is lying about how the radius of the Earth was obtained, where they look at they claim the radius of the iris and the Rayleigh criterion. They get the radius wrong. They get the angles wrong. Then they claim the distance to the horizon is some number for a person of a certain height, and the number has like 8 digits in it. Like, how did you measure the distance to the horizon to 8 digits? How did you do that? Of course you didn't. The whole thing is dumb. He's going to play that whole thing. That's just a flat earther's cope session on lying about how the radius of the Earth was obtained. That is not the model using flat earth that shows how the sun of a position is obtained. He's just blatantly lying about it. And got caught outright. It uses 666 nanometers because reasons. That's right. It uses optical light. Why did they choose that number? Because it's their favorite number. Why not a different wavelength? We see a broad range of wavelengths. This is not even the middle of the wavelength. Anyway, absolutely amazing. Okay. So here is he said this is just gold. So he talked about the kinematic equivalence, and this comes from Witspit, which is something that Shame says all the time now. So let me explain this. The kinematic equivalence is step 1, accept that the Earth is a globe. Step 2, accept that the sun is 150 million kilometers away. Step 3, accept that within our reference frame, mass attracts mass. Step 4, test whether or not general relativity is right. The year is 1919. You test that by checking to see whether or not stars near the sun deflect when they get near the sun. You can't do that during the day because the sun is too bright. You can't see those stars. You can do it during an eclipse though. So in 1919, Arthur Eddington sent out to 2 different expeditions, one to Principe, an island in off the coast of Africa, and another one to Brazil. And both of them took photographs of the sun during the eclipse, looking specifically for stars near the sun, and then compared them to the position of stars at night when the sun's not there, relative to other stars. And they confirmed that they move. Okay, so now that's the first confirmation of general relativity. It requires the sun to be 150 million kilometers away, requires the Earth to have a certain radius, requires a bunch of things. Okay. Also, another prerequisite to the kinematic equivalence is that Mercury orbits the sun. And because of the proximity between Mercury and the sun, it causes a slight change in the orbit of Mercury that is slightly different than if the mass didn't change its orbit. Again, a test of relativity. Also, that's number 2. Number 3, the color of light coming from the sun, because the sun has some mass, and the color of light coming from it is slightly shifted. Right, number 3. Those are the 3 key ones. There's others. For example, light from very distant sources, galaxies, and other places going near other giant masses within the universe get warped around it. Okay, the path of light. So all of those things are prerequisites to when Kevin said the kinematic equivalence. Okay, the kinematic equivalence is speaking to within general relativity. Within general, this is absolutely critical. You need to accept all of these things within general relativity. The Earth orbits the sun. Within general relativity, there's a kinematic equivalence. You can arbitrarily choose any point to be stationary, similar to a simplified version, right? If you're standing on a train, you wake up, you don't know anything, you're in a room, and in that room with you is a bouncy ball. That's all you got. You're in the room, you're there, no explanation. You take that ball and you're like, oh, what is that? And you throw it up, catch it, throw it up, catch it. You don't know if you're moving or not, but you can't feel anything. Okay? Then a window opens. Turns out you're on a train. And you look out the window and you can see that the train is moving. Well, you threw that ball up and down, assuming it wasn't. So to you, you are stationary when you're in that room, but you are actually moving. You don't know it. The kinematic equivalence is a broader view of that in the sense of general relativity. I've very much simplified that. Apologies to to people. So PhD Tony says maths change and decay rates of particles in accelerators also confirm special relativity. Very true. Thank you. All right. Those are all prerequisites. And so the kinematic equivalence is the Earth and Sun being 150 million kilometers distant from each other. You can't just absolutely say that there is an absolute space and that there is, right? You can say, through the expression of kinematics, express the position of the Earth in relation to the sun, where the Earth is stationary and the sun orbits it. Okay? Kinematics only. You can't do that with dynamics, but you can with kinematics. Okay? That's what that means. Okay, now they have taken that and they've claimed that this, for no reason, that the kinematic equivalence of general relativity also applies here. It does not. The kinematic equivalence has the certain distance between the Earth and the sun, has a certain geometry to the Earth. Right? So it is an argument that only globe geocentrists can even begin to claim. But they're not claiming the Earth is a globe, and they're not claiming it's 150 million kilometers away. But because they're able to fool their gullible idiot followers, they can just say that, and they'll just gobble it up. So Kevin the idiot, Alan the idiot, Shame the idiot, can listen to Witspit the idiot, who says kinematic equivalence, and they just believe it because they're not smart. So, all right. Isn't kinematic equivalence essentially a coordinate transform? Yeah, you can think of it that way. But remember, I covered earlier, a coordinate transform isn't the same. They need to do a warping or a projecting. That changes everything. So Andrew GYNY says he's actually listening. He never got his GED or finished high school. He's a maiden uncle. I don't know who you're talking about here. But anyway, still no flatties. Send me an email if you want in, and I can, or just say that you're here in the chat, and I'll drop you in. And you can save. You can be the savior. All right. That was a long thing on the kinematic equivalence. So kinematic. So in high school physics, kinematics is the study of acceleration and velocity, no force. So you can say, well, I'm gonna drop something. I'm gonna hold a ball and I'm gonna drop it, and I'm gonna time how long it takes. And we're gonna use kinematics. This is an example. I'm gonna time how long it takes for that ball to fall from here to here, right? This distance, and timing how long that takes. You know the time, and you know the distance between them. You can know the acceleration. You can know how fast it accelerated down, how fast it changed velocity. But you don't know why. Kinematics doesn't address why. Dynamics is the field that does that. Similarly, if you're in a car and you're already traveling at a certain rate, if you're already at 60 miles an hour, and you're like, oh, well, I need to slow down as quickly as possible because there's a deer in the road. Something that happens when you're driving in Minnesota this time of year, in the evenings especially. I need to slow down as fast as possible. And so I've got a distance between me and the deer, and I can apply a certain amount of braking and decelerate at a certain rate. Kinematics would be how you would determine that. So self-driving cars, for example, are doing tons of kinematic equations to figure things out. They say, well, we can accelerate at this rate, we can decelerate at this rate, and we can turn here, we can do this. That's kinematics. So it's the study of motion, speed, velocity, acceleration, without answering why, without putting the force in there. So PhD Tony says kinematics is probably going to be better than I explained. Kinematics makes no effort to explain where the forces come from. There is still some force that makes the other planets and planetesimals orbit the sun. There is some force. Yes, and the kinematics doesn't address that, what it is. So yeah, thank you, Tony. Right. Okay, I've got 2 more clips, and then we're going to look at some of his Kevin's papers, his crayon drawings. This one, 4 minutes.
Mathematical model for the 15th time that if you put my location in a date and time, and assuming the Earth is flat, you will tell me where the sun is, yes or no?
Your prediction of a model is not, it doesn't show anything about the shape of the Earth, just because you want to mathematically...
I'm not asking you. I'm asking you,
Yeah.
We gave you full freedom to define.
Yeah, you have hundreds of years. You have hundreds of years.
You're not
long
answering
and
the
last.
question. Listen, you're not answering the fucking question. Do you think I'm a fucking idiot? You've been dealing with fucking idiots and you're taking advantage of people.
No,
Assuming the Earth
I
is
never
flat- No,
earned
assuming
anything.
the Earth is flat, tell me your fucking mathematical model. Do you understand that?
Look at this diffraction and the derivation from
No,
the
do you
wavelength
have
of
the
the eye,
mathematical model?
and go to
Do you
James
have the
and here he
mathematical
will explain
model?
it to you exactly.
You have the
Very good.
mathematical model, yes or no?
Space audits and
Do you have-
MCToon, go to them,
Yeah.
and you see it here on
Yeah.
screen. I just
I don't
don't
give a
want to
fuck who they
defend
are.
it.
Do you have a
I don't want to
mathematical
defend
model?
it.
Do you have a mathematical model, Kevin, of the location of the sun, if assuming the Earth is flat? If not, I can derive it for you. And you can tell me if you don't know how to do the math, because you clearly have a bunch of retards who are helping you or not helping you.
No, I don't have a model myself.
Okay, so you
no.
don't have it, you fucking lose.
Okay,
You're done.
so let's go to the
You're
next one
done.
then.
No, you're
Fine,
done.
You can go to our.
No, it's
to the
over.
hour.
It's over.
Go,
It's fucking
go to the
over.
other.
We're gonna
Okay,
end this.
Do it. No,
It's over.
I want. You
It's
know
over.
exactly that our.
You fucking lied.
What?
You're a liar. You're a deceiver.
I showed the
You don't have
Bisling code.
anything.
I showed the
You don't
Bisling
have-
code. I showed it on screen.
No, you're just showing some shit on the screen. You think I'm an idiot?
It was formulas of the Bisling
You
code.
have a
Yes.
mathematical model of the location of the sun, assuming the Earth is flat. Yes or no?
How is it not modeled there?
Show me your mathematical model if you input the variables of my location, assuming the Earth is flat, you get an output. Where is that? Do you have it? If you do, I'm all ears. I don't want to waste my fucking time with you.
Yeah, I would have liked to show you if you were.
You have the mathematical model. Does someone else want to ask him this question? Do you have the mathematical model of the location of the sun, assuming the earth is flat? Do you have that?
Assuming the.
And if you don't,
He's
and
desperate.
If you don't have that,
He's
if you
desperate.
don't have it, you've been wasting my time and everyone else's time. And the reality is you probably don't
So you
have
want
it.
to avoid the other
You have the
experiment now?
mathematical model.
When this model isn't.
have the mathematical
when
model.
math isn't reality.
Okay. This is not going anywhere because you lost. You don't have it.
We can
You
skip,
don't know
we
how to
can
do
skip
the
this point.
science.
We can skip this point. You know, you
there's no
excluded
skip this point.
on purpose. You excluded on purpose. All the
You just fucking dug your own grave.
flat earthers.
You dug your own fucking grave. You
How
can't
is that?
produce a mathematical model after we gave you a week.
Yeah,
Because you don't have a model.
I'm a regular working guy. I'm not like doing
okay.
this every
Let's get the
day
violins
in and out.
Yeah, we gave you the opportunity to speak to as many people as possible. None of you fucking flat earthers can come up with a model. You're bullshitting people. You're fucking bullshitters.
I show here how you
You're a
threw
fucking
it out.
bullshitter.
I show
wasting my
how you
time.
throw Man
If
of
you're
Stone
such a
out.
working guy,
Get the Man of
you don't have a
Stone.
model.
Get people who deal with this
Stone?
every day.
Oh, Man of Stone. Man of Stone. The link is in the chat. You can come in and present the mathematical model that Shiva was asking for. Kevin thinks you can do it. I see one flat earther in the chat. Rayism. Do you have a mathematical model that predicts the position of the sun, where I can put in a latitude, longitude, and a day and a time, and it will output the angle to the sun? If you have it, be the savior that flat earth needs right now. They need it so desperately. Help them out. Help them out. But I think you don't. I don't think any flat earther has it. I'm pretty sure of that because it's impossible. Rayism, you're an idiot. I totally demolished you. And of course, Rayism is in here after a couple of years ago getting absolutely destroyed in a debate with me, and then coming in, still taking the victory lap. This is hilarious. He was a surveyor, but he was a surveyor as much as, like Jesse Kozlowski. Let me say, Jesse Kozlowski is a real surveyor. And when you're talking about, for example, like at a restaurant, say at a proper, like high-end restaurant, the kind of restaurant that might hope to get a Michelin star, for example, they've got the head chef at that restaurant. Jesse Kozlowski is like that head chef when it comes to surveying. Ray got a job without having, to my knowledge, any previous education in surveying. He just got a job at the local county office for surveying, and they trained him on the job. They're like, here, hold the stick for a while. Okay, now look through here, look through this thing here, and write down the numbers. We'll do all the hard work. So when it comes to the restaurant, Ray was like the guy in the back peeling potatoes. That's what Ray is when it comes to surveying. He didn't understand what it is that he was doing. He just did it because they said, you need to do it like this. You need to follow the instructions step by step, and you bring it back to us, and the adults will do the math. That's what Ray was. So, anyway, Man of Stone, Kevin needs you. Get that flat earth model. Kevin thinks that you could. This is what's hilarious. Kevin thinks you could do it, Man of Stone. Kevin said he's just a regular guy. He doesn't do this every day like Man of Stone. Man of Stone could get the flat earth model that predicts the time or the angle to the sun, given the date, location, and time. He really thinks that. He was begging for Man of Stone. Oh, so precious. I got one more of these.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
you had
Toon,
chance for a week to go talk to them.
I prepared my brain
Where's your
thing very well, so I like to.
Where's your
I like
mathematical
to.
model, Kevin?
I like to object
Where's your
with
mathematical
this.
model, Kevin?
I like to object.
Where's
this
your
thing
mathematical model,
completely.
Kevin? Where's your
can
mathematical
see-
model?
You can
You're
see
just
that
showing a bunch
BizLinks
of
works very
bullshit.
well.
You've been doing this, just bullshit, bullshit,
You can
bullshit.
see that BizLink works kinematically
seeing
very
anything.
well. Yeah, I go
not
back
seeing
to it
anything.
because you. Am I still sharing screen? You see.
Okay. Please stop him from sharing the screen. He's wasting everyone's time. He doesn't have a model. He's full of shit.
Yeah, ask the other guys, and
You're full
I
of
don't
shit.
know how.
You don't have a model. You don't have a model. You
I
lied.
prepared 3 days.
I don't care how many times you spent. You
No,
don't know how to do science.
You don't know how to do this. That you don't see that you only do observations and no experiment. So
Where's your model?
It's only
Where's
observations
your
what
model,
you're doing.
Kevin?
The purpose of the summit is
You don't know
not
how
to
to
set
do
up an
science.
observation.
Admit it. You don't know
only
how
an
to fucking do
observation.
science.
We have.
So there it is. Kevin doesn't understand what an experiment is. He's never done an experiment. Obviously, Kevin, if he did take any science classes in high school, did not pay attention. We got Rayism that says, so show that I'm correct. Says I have a 4-year degree in ag business. So he does not have any formal training in surveying before he got a job down at the local county surveying office, where day one they're like, hold the stick. He's like, okay, I'll go hold the stick. That's it. That's all Ray's got. He held a stick, and then he got taught. All right, dude, write down 7.4 there. Okay, I write down 7.4. Good job, Kevin. You're a good boy. Not Kevin. Sorry, Ray. All right, Ray. All right, Ray. Hold on. Look through this. Look through this thing here. Then read the number off of the display. Okay, it's just 8.3. Good job. That's a good boy, Ray. 8.3. Let me write that down. 8.3. Okay. Go over there. Go get the paper stretcher. Yeah, we got the paper stretcher. So on that ditch over there. And then on the other side of that ditch, I know it's wet. You'll get wet. Go through the ditch. On the other side of that ditch is, and then yeah, there's a barbed wire fence. Climb over the barbed wire fence. And then in that box over there, that's where the paper stretcher's at. Go get the paper stretcher. All right. What do you mean you couldn't find the paper stretcher? Oh, dang it. Somebody must have moved it. Okay. You know what we need, Ray? We're going to need the dehydrated water. All right. Can you run into town quick? Get the dehydrated water. You'll find it over at Old Abe's weed and feed store on the corner of First and Main. There it is. Go say, hey, Bob sent you for some for dehydrated water. Okay, I'll go get some dehydrated water. That's a good boy, Ray. You go get it. That was Ray. Get that paper stretcher, Ray. You need it. Seriously, Ray had no idea. He had no idea at all what he was doing. It's just all magic to Ray. So, all right. Google Chrome. There it is. All right. So here's him checking, he's begging for help. Please, MCToon, Witsit Space Audits. And somebody at the bottom that I can't even read because it says shame. You're my only hope. Seriously. So Kevin at the end, when he wouldn't shut the hell up, just whining and bitching and complaining, and trying to derail everything, right? We all were given specific things that we agreed to do. Kevin agreed to do it, and he didn't do it, and instead he wanted a soapbox to bitch. And Shiva was having none of it. So here is another one. He says result was 1% off flat versus 10% off globe. What result was? There was no experiment that was done yet. So what result was 1% off flat and 10% off globe? But was it in the margin of error of flat? Oh, that's right. Flat earthers don't do margin of error. They think, oh, whichever is closer, that's proof. That's how they work. There he is. Shiva excluded the guy who knows all about this experiment. Well, then we got Dano at the top there. This was absolutely genius. Why didn't Kevin bring his own experiment then? Yes, Kevin. Why did not you bring the experiment that you did of the force the fishing line experiment? What is the force the fishing line experiment, you say? Well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Says, are you afraid of the results? I think Kevin is afraid of the results, because if we use this map to derive a model, which is completely possible, I can do it. Anybody that has a little bit of background in math can derive a model to predict the angle to the sun using this model. This is a model. It's a poor model, but it actually has, at the bottom, it has 60 nautical miles per degree latitude right there on the right there on the bottom. It has it right there. Right there. So you can use this as a model. And this is from Gleason. Gleason says how high the sun is in his book. So you can take that, you can put those together. That's all you need to develop a model, because you know the dimensions of this and you know how high the sun is above it. You can 100% easily produce a model. Like, oh, there's too many. It's non-Euclidean. Okay, add that in. Don't know how. It's just a cope. It's just an escape mechanism. Right? Oh, there it is. Hold on. Where'd it go? That's not it. There it is. There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you had to to go talk to them.
Darn it. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a chance for a week to go talk to them.
I prepared my thing very well, so I like to.
Where's your mathematical model, Kevin?
I like to object.
Wow, this is good enough to watch again.
I like to object.
Where's your mathematical model, Kevin? Where's your mathematical model?
You can see that this thing works very well.
You've been doing this, just bullshit.
You can see that this. Yes.
Yeah, you had a chance for a week to go talk to them.
I prepared my thing very well, so I like to.
Where's your mathematical model, Kevin?
I like to object.
Where's your mathematical model, Kevin?
I like to object.
Where's your mathematical model, Kevin? Where's your mathematical model?
You can see that this thing works very well.
You've been doing this, just bullshit.
You can see that this thing works kinematically very well. Yeah, I go back to it because am I still sharing screen? You see.
Okay. Please stop him from sharing the screen. He's wasting everyone's time. He doesn't have a model. He's full of shit.
Yeah, ask the other guys, and
you're full of shit. You don't have a model. You don't have a model. You lie.
I prepared 3 days.
I don't care how many times you spent. You don't know how to do science.
You don't know how to do this. That you don't see that you only do observations and no experiment. So
where's your model?
It's only observations. What you're doing. Kevin? The purpose of the summit is not to set up an observation.
Admit it. You don't know how to observation.
We have.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. I was messing with buttons and it automatically did that again. Anyway, you want to see this. Are you afraid of the results? Kevin was afraid of the results. He should have been. All right. This is another one here. Toon showed a localizer beam, not glide slope. I don't know what you're talking about. I talked about the glide slope. That like he went back to, oh, you have to measure this. He wasn't actually proposing to go get a radio and measure the signal strength. That wasn't what he had proposed. Anyway, I straight up admit it's not my test. Why then? Why even bring it up? Why didn't you bring your own test? Well, probably because his test did not go well. Let's see here if I can grab. Because I'm looking for his channel. I'm sorry. I have it. Man, I got his channel. All right, let me do this. Astro Kate, how you doing? All right, here it is, channels. Kevin Samuel is his channel. There we go. Okay. So we got videos. There's a bunch of his videos are in Austrian. So I'm looking for his experiment. I think it's a pretty good experiment. He just didn't do it well. And again, it wasn't inconclusive, but he made a conclusion from it. Is this it? All right. That's not the one yet. I'm looking. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not it there. All right. I had it. I'm sorry. I should have. This is the one thing I didn't like write down ahead of time. So, and he did have a little bit of a cry, poor Kevin, after last time. So I don't blame him for that little cry. He did get completely demolished. So all right, there's the setup. How could a 24-hour sun work on flat Earth? And he shows the video by the Tomb of Illumination. Poor guy. He's so dumb. All right, maybe this is it. All right, well, let's have a look here. Let's see. So, mechanical test for the shape of the Earth. So, he has a diagram. So, here's what he did. He got fishing line, and he wanted to get the fishing line to be neutrally buoyant in water, which is not trivial. It's not a trivial thing to do. So he mixed together two different fishing lines here, and it's pretty tedious. So a lot of work. So good, good for him to do that. Found a lake. And yeah, there's his spool. So he has these two together that are supposed to be neutrally buoyant together. He tied one end to a rock, and then he went out. You see that? He put a weight down under the surface of the water so that the string was under the surface of the water, not at the surface of the water. And he has a diagram even of it at some point here. And this is critical that it's under the surface of the water. And he's showing how he's stretching it. So the idea is that I want to get the diagram. So let me look. we at here? We're at 215 is where he's out in the middle. He's going to go check it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's what he's doing here. You can see here's the bulge of the Earth. He's testing for this. So if the Earth is a globe, then there's going to be this gap here, right, by a certain amount. And if the Earth is flat, then it will be in the middle of the lake. It will be the same elevation as it is on either side. And he has a diagram of that somewhere on here. So yeah, I mean, he's basically showing how to spin yarn. He probably could have gotten an actual yarn spinner to do it. That might have been a good way to do it. Well, all right. Well, I'm not finding the spot where there's a diagram, but if you can think about it, if the Earth's a globe, then there has to be a gap between the surface, or a gap. Hold on. If the Earth is a globe, the base case, if the Earth is the first case, if the Earth is flat, and he starts with the string 5 centimeters under the surface of the water on either side, right? So there's this 5 centimeter gap on either side. Then in the middle, the string will have to be 5 centimeters under the surface, right? If the Earth is a globe, then the string has to be more than 5 centimeters underneath. And we can compute that. I don't remember its exact amount, but we can compute the amount that it has to go down. That's the Sagitta. Okay. So the test is 5 centimeters under, whatever that gap is. That's the flat Earth prediction. The globe prediction is going to be some other thing. And you should have a margin of error of those. Okay. What does he find? Well, let's look here. Does he find it a significant depth underneath the surface or just a small depth under the surface? He's actually out there. It's on the surface, but it shouldn't be on the surface. On the surface isn't the flat Earth prediction. And this is typical flat earthers. The flat Earth prediction is under the surface by a certain amount. Why is it on the surface? It's floating. It could be that surface tension is holding up some of it. It could be that there's air bubbles on it holding it up. It could be that it's not neutrally buoyant in this water. Don't know. Inconclusive results, because this doesn't match the flat Earth prediction either. So concavers maybe should rejoice, because that would be a concave position. So that's a failure. It's on the surface, not the prediction. Anyway, so there it is. Why didn't he propose that test and do it better? We could have done that. I would have been all excited for that. Here, this is funny. We got Rayism in the chat here. Rayism, a flat earther. Hirakud Dam in Indiana, or in India, is 16 miles long, 200 feet tall. Man made of earth and soil. Do the math. Center of dam must be 34 feet higher. Okay. It's 16 miles long. So how would you determine that? You would not determine that using differential leveling. And here's the thing. Ray the brain dead surveyor was trained how to do differential leveling without understanding what differential leveling was doing. Differential leveling is differential leveling because the Earth is a globe. If the Earth were not a globe, you could potentially think about, there's still issues, doing non-differential leveling, where you start at one spot, you go forward, you measure to a stake, and then at that point, you move your theodolite or auto level to that stake and read forward again, and then move again forward. That's not how differential leveling is done. Differential leveling is done where you put a stake at the beginning point, you move out a certain distance, and you put your auto level at that certain distance. Call it 100 feet. And you measure back. That's your back sight. And then you measure forward. There's another rod. 100 feet the other direction so that you're in the middle. As close as possible, you want to be in the middle for each of your measurements. There's a reason why. And what you're doing is you're getting the difference between this one and this one. You're doing a differential. So one side, what you do is you add this number that's forward, and you take the number back and you subtract it. Differential. And then you do it again by hopping to the next one. And now your previous stake stays there. You don't put your measurement device where that stake is. You measure back to that stake. Now that's your back sight. And then you measure forward to your foresight. And you do the same thing. You add one side, subtract the other side. The reason why you do that is because for Earth curve and refraction, when they're the same distance, when you have it in the middle, where it's always 100 feet, for example, or as close as possible, and you're measuring that distance while you go, one side will add a certain amount for the radius of the Earth, and the other side will subtract the radius of the Earth when you do that differential leveling. Same for refraction. Refraction this direction, refraction that direction. That's why you do differential leveling. And that's what Ray did for his career without understanding why differential leveling did what it does. That's the thing. That's why he's the guy in the back peeling potatoes. He did not understand what he was doing. He didn't understand why the technique was that. He's just a potato peeler. So if you go measure a dam using differential leveling, the process of differential leveling includes the shape of the Earth, includes the radius of the Earth in it. It's embedded in it that every time you do a foresight and a backsight, the radius of the Earth is incorporated and they actually cancel each other out. So the only thing you care about is the differential, the difference from level, which is a curved surface. Every surveying book says that. So whatever he's talking about with that 16-mile dam, it's just him not understanding the topic. Interesting for a surveyor to not know the topic of surveying. You could read a book on the topic. I think he's never read a book on the topic. That must be the case. So, all right. Yes, we had some pathetic things from poor Kevin. I don't know, Kevin, man, you really like, I don't know, somebody put together Kevin's model that he presented. This one here, this not nice, it's in crayon, but it's not his model, it's somebody else's model. Yeah. Ooh, gross. I just pictured Ray undressing Dirth like the potato he is. Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put that little mind picture in your head there. I've got some people on Facebook that were quite losery. They need to be called out. I'll read them in a second here. Lissom said, with Flat Earth debates kind of dying out, have you considered doing more scripted videos again? As nice as these hangouts are, they're just not the same. I know. I have, and I started working on one last night, and then I just got too tired. I've just been super busy. Like in the fall here, I'm fighting the weather to get some stuff done outside and in the garage, and so my time is short. And but now it's kind of getting past. Like it's getting cold now, so it doesn't matter if it's, you know, it's going to be 20 degrees, so it's going to be cold either way. So I'm kind of on the other side of that. Hopefully, I can get a little more. To be fair to Kevin, like you said, his experiment was more reasonable than Stone's. It was 100%. Stone's experiment, you could not determine the shape of the Earth using Stone's experiment. It's way too sloppy. But with Kevin's, you could. Done right, executed well, you could. Not easy to do, but doing it right, you could. King Crew says, January is a great month to deliver my book. You know, Kevin, King Crew, I will be in Florida late February. I'll be in Pensacola late February. So if anybody wants to come up there, King Crew, I might do a meetup. If there's interest, let me know. I know Pensacola is not the, I know, not a lot of people are in the area, but I know a few are. Some people have messaged me, specifically a guy named James has a boat. James, I'll be sending you a message. That'd be pretty cool. I think what kind of thing, how could we, you know, do an experiment on a boat, right? Can't be the whole day, because this is going to be for fun too, and just a little bit. This is a vacation. It's not like I'm going to go spend all day every day doing experiments. Jay Donachie says, I know Shiva took Kevin back behind the woodshed. That wasn't what I was talking about. I'm talking about Kevin is a nobody flat earther, and he drew the short straw to be the patsy for flat earth. 100%. Poor Kevin, right? It couldn't have happened to a more pathetic guy. It could have. There are more pathetic guys. I you know, for sure. If only someone had an experiment that uses a boat. Yeah, so the radar one, I don't think is the one to do in Florida, but yeah. So Dano and I talked about maybe doing the experiment that he proposed in the summer, maybe out on the East Coast there. I might see about, my family's been wanting to get out to the East Coast for a while, so maybe we can do that. And I know Jesse Path of Light would like to have some input into that. I think we could get a good experiment there. We got Alyssum says, Rayism is also known as Mr. Eiffel Tower. He fell for an April 1st prank that said you could see it from England. He's a coward. Oh, did he? He fell for that. I know Sleeping Warrior was talking about that. Jack Fetter says, was it subconscious that you used a potato analogy? No, it was not. That potato analogy I've used for a while. It's actually came from Jesse Kozlowski. I talked with him about it, and Jesse's like, yeah, Ray was like the potato peeler out in the back, peeling potatoes. Pable 73 for 750 Uruguayan pesos says, Flat Earther is the only minority worth mocking. You know, is that the case? I mean, because there's moon landing deniers, you can mock them. There's the people that believe that grifters are talking to aliens by closing their eyes. Those people can get mocked. They deserve some mocking. There's the people that think that if you do this, that it will bring you certain magical powers. They can be mocked. So there's people. It's a wider audience than that. I don't discriminate against who needs to be mocked. If they need to be mocked, they need to be mocked. So Brenda says, I hate using unstretched paper. I know, you got to get that paper stretcher to get it all stretched out. Nerd Pedantic Alert is a member. A new member. I thought he was. Anyway, thank you for becoming a new member. I appreciate it. Sergeant Rock of Easy Company for $2 says Flatzoid farts on orphans. Flatzoid's farts on orphans? Flatzoid, what are you doing? Stop farting on orphans, Flatzoid. Professor Phil Bell says Dr. Shiva was profoundly disappointed that the Flat Earthers brought nothing, hence no challenge at all. They think they can BS serious academics. And yes, that's what happens when Flat Earthers try to have a seat at the table. You need to do the actual stuff. You don't get a seat at the table by saying, Globe, I don't like how Globe does things. No. You have consequences for your actions. You want a seat at the table? Go ahead. Get your model. No model? You don't get a seat at the table. All right. Here we go. We got some Facebook losers. Whoo, doggy. This was on my post. Jordan Frenzy Haynes says, MCToon, which bit of the real and actual Earth are you struggling to grasp and need spoon feeding on? Accept everything? And here that is. Well, number one, according to this diagram, the sun would never set. Number two, according to this diagram, when I went to Antarctica, the sun would never have been south of me. This analemma stuff, that requires a very specific geometry, a model, if you will. I've tested this model. It fails every time. So, Jordan Frenzy Haynes, you're an idiot. And here you are, making a mockery of yourself live on Facebook for everybody to see. And now on YouTube, Jordan Frenzy Haynes, you're stupid. Stop being stupid. All right. This one was another comment on there by Rice Hart. He wants to put that type of insult. I said, well, bring your flat earth model that accurately predicts the position of the sun. If you can't, you publicly admit the earth is a globe. Well, Rice Hart, thank you for publicly admitting that the earth is a globe. You did not bring your model that accurately predicts the sun using flat earth. We've got Aguila Aries. Give Bible verses which support NASA globe principle. Well, the Bible isn't the place that anybody should go to for geometry, because the Bible says that pi equals 3.0. It's approximate, but no math book, no science book would use 3.0 when they're reporting to 2 digits. You'd use 3.1. Anyway, so I said, bring the flat earth model that accurately predicts the position of the sun. If you can't, you publicly admit the earth is a globe. You got this idiot here, Tone Capone. Now, this is interesting that there's been an uprising of flat earthers that do not use their real name, which makes sense. Flat earthers should not use their real name. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating to be a flat earther. I think that it should be an absolute, it should be like tattooing stupid on your forehead if you're a flat earther. Everybody on the earth should know with no question, every flat earther is dumb. And if somebody publicly states that they're a flat earther, everybody should then immediately mock them. That's what they deserve. The sun could never set. Anyway, this alone proves flat earth is an observable and repeatable. So where's the sun's trajectory model in space? And it's a picture of the analemma, very low quality. The globe does predict the position of the sun in the analemma. Flat earth does not. There is no flat earth model that predicts the position of the sun. Flat earthers like to claim the analemma does, but it doesn't. you would need to have a model first, which you don't have. Let's see. We've got Richard Lowe says it doesn't matter. It's not like we have all the answers. Richard Lowe, flat earthers don't have any answers. Not one answer. You don't know the position of the sun. You don't know what keeps the sun up. You don't know what keeps the moon up. You don't know what the sun is made of or the moon is made of. You don't know what causes downward acceleration 9.81 meters per second squared. You don't know the cause of that. You don't know why things are blocked bottom up with increasing distance. You've got a bunch of words, but there's no physics behind it, no optics behind it, no geometry behind it. You don't know what time the sun will rise or set based on your model. You don't have a map that works. You don't know why I saw the sun south of me in Antarctica. See, you don't have any answers at all, Richard Lowe. You are stupid. Everybody in your life should tell you that you're stupid, Richard Lowe, because you don't have any answers and you still are a flat earther. Clint Stewart says to me, he thinks I'm unintelligent. Well, I said, super, Clint Stewart. He complained that I call flat earthers Flerfs. I said, well, Flerf is slang for the name for cotton remnants that become wedged in your anal crevasse after wearing boxer shorts. Look it up. Urban Dictionary, 2009. That's the definition. Or more recently, it means flat earthers. These are approximately equivalent. Anyway, when he makes that accusation to me, really, Clint Stewart, if you're going to make that accusation toward me, you must think you're smarter than me. So I offer this to you, Clint Stewart. We both put $5,000 in escrow. We both take the same university level physics test. Winner takes all. Now, if you know that I'm smarter than you, you will make excuses, you will refuse to do it, you will run away, you'll evade, you will do everything other than accept that must be, in your mind, easy $5,000. Why not? Why won't he take it? I know he won't take it. I've offered this to flat earthers many times. They never take it. The reason why they won't take it is generally no flat earther took physics in high school and certainly did not take physics at university. And so for a flat earther to take a university level physics test, they know they'll fail. So you don't get to call me unintelligent or ignorant because the topic of the shape of the earth is exactly physics. So if you think the earth is flat, it's because you're stupid, Clint Stewart. And everybody in your life should tell you that. Got Dave Beagle says it's simple. Fire rockets straight up with cameras looking up. When it slams into the blue barrier again and again, then the globetards will have to spew more of their, misspelled there, pseudoscience indoctrination. The problem is that rockets regularly go up. There have been already over 300 rockets launched this year. None of them hit the firmament. What a failure in life you are, David Beagle. Everybody in your life should tell you that. Jimmy Blythe says water. Anything else? This is how stupid this guy is. He thinks water is flat. Do you have measurements of water being flat? No, you don't. I said bring the model that predicts the position of the sun. And if you can't, you publicly admit the earth is a globe. Thank you, Jimmy Blythe, for not showing up. You admit the earth is a globe. All right, this one is great. This is the last one. You got Nick Elpap. Says flat all day. And it's hard to make out, but this is a popular meme that the dumbest of the dumbest humans on the face of the globe put up. It says G 8.46. It's got the guy on the left there, right? He's going under G-forces, extremely high G-forces. And then on the bottom, it says speed of Apollo 11. That's not Apollo 11, but whatever. Carrying astronauts to the moon, 35,000 something feet per second. He doesn't know the difference between G, acceleration, and velocity. He thinks that velocity is the same as acceleration. That's how stupid he is. This is how stupid flat earthers are. They post these memes and other flat earthers don't respond to it and say, what the hell are you doing? You are making flat earthers look stupid. No flat earthers are out there calling them out saying, stop it. They're all accepting of it. Well, here we go. Nick Helphap. I said, good job proving Flerfs are brainless. Okay, cartoon profile pic. Ooh, buffoon, read Bible. Good job, Nick. You English good. And here we go. This is absolute insanity. He says 12BX. So all right. 12BX. Fire met that new Jewish one not close to older. Guys flying in fighter jet don't feel G-force even at Kurzibg at 600 lol. Feffing rocket, ooh idiot, ooh's head once what they speed. Simon Peel comes in for a little help. I've flown at twice the speed of sound on Concorde. You can feel it accelerate, but when it's cruising at constant speed, you don't feel any speed at all. How hard do we have to nail this into your mushroom you have instead of a brain? You can't feel speed. You can only feel changes in speed, acceleration. Simon again says, oh dear, if I couldn't tell the difference between speed and acceleration, I'd be too embarrassed to advertise it on social media. Brave of you. Nick Helphap. That you lol idiot, you can't tell. Brave ooh to admit don't be live lords Satan-est loser. Simon says, can we have that in language other than gibberish? And finally, we got Fabian Leninger says, still can't understand the difference between acceleration and speed. Nick says, ooh, think he going at 200 lol, ooh, feel that in car, ooh, know it too. What was his? Sped, ooh, buffoon? Ooh, buffon. Ooh, buffon. Look up, jackass. I say yes. Nick is too stupid to know the difference between speed and acceleration. Yes. Flerfs are that stupid. Flerfs are so stupid that they believe this without a model. Flerfs are so stupid that they will take the analemma, point to this and say, the analemma, the geometry of the analemma on flat Earth matches flat Earth, without being able to provide anything else about the position of the sun. They think they know the position of the sun with the analemma, but not when it needs to. Kevin needed that help. All right. Kevin, you failed. Flat Earthers, you all failed. Every flat earther, if you think the Earth is flat, it's because you're dumb. And you know, like, oh, that's an insult. No, it's not. It's you know, in school, if you fail a test, it's because you failed the test, right? It's not about feelings. If you think the earth is flat, it's because you failed many, many, many topics. You failed geometry, you failed physics, right? And really, you're in the bottom, 100th% of human population in stupidity. You really are. You really are stupid. So I don't know. Anyway, but flatties, if you want to debate me, if you think that you got the chops, then come debate me. But flat earthers, you're scared of me. I know. You should be. Flat earthers are scared of me. Second, I'm gonna do this, do that. There we go. Since the final experiment, and with the large number of debates that I've done against flat earthers and demolished them every single time, flat earthers are deathly scared to face me live in a debate. I don't blame you one bit, flat earthers. You should be. You should be scared because you can't substantiate flat earth. You don't get a table you don't get to be at the adult table of science because you would need to produce a prediction based on your model and it would be tested. And if it was falsified, then that would show that flat earth is wrong. And I'm happy I'm able to take the globe model and put it forward and test it. But you're not. And I don't blame you, but tell you what, flatties, just in case, if you can just dig down, find a little bit of stone and down there. Maybe you're going to email me, mctoon@mctoon.net. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to substantiate flat earth. And that's probably why you're all so scared. Because you can't substantiate flat earth. The only thing flat earthers can do is whine like little babies about the globe and then show how they don't understand it. That's it. That's all they can do. So I don't blame you. You should be scared. You should run away. You should go hide in your echo chambers. But Shiva really did expose your inability to play with the big boys. And flatties, I know you were scared that I was there. Many flat earthers ran from it because I was there. I get that. You should have been scared. But I got to tell you, I'm going to be there. I'm not going away. If you think you're going to play on the big stage, guess what? I'm not one step ahead of you. I'm 75 steps ahead of you. Flatties. So, yeah, go ahead. Cry it up. You lost. You got humiliated. And it's well earned. The mockery and ridicule that flat earthers get, they have earned. If you don't want it, you have two choices. Give up flat earth or bring forth a model that survives the test. All right, everybody, that's all I got. We got Sister Sunday for £2. Has no message, but I appreciate that. Do I have this? One thing. It's been interesting watching your growth when dealing with Flerfs from when you started on yet to now. Yeah, thanks. I think about like a lot of things that have changed, like just from like, I used to get a little anxious calling places that I don't know about stuff. Calling like related to this topic, like not anymore. I'll call anybody about anything, anytime. But you know what I don't do? I don't go advertise that I have a YouTube channel. Not that I'm ashamed of it or anything like that. Not that, like, when I do tell people, like, it's a good chuckle. but I'm not out there like bragging like, oh, hey, everybody, I got a YouTube channel. I don't do that. So most people, they don't know until they know me a little bit. I was just talking to somebody, storing our camper. The guy is storing our camper. He doesn't know. I'm not telling him. Thank you for an interesting evening from your neighbor in Prescott. Where's Prescott? That's in Wisconsin, right? Mel Bree Ali Dez. There was talk of a reality type show giving Flerfs $50,000 to go and film proof. Wonder where that went. Yeah, I remember that. It didn't go anywhere. Okay. I have JJ. JJ has his own channel, and he's often on Vika. He's friends with Ironworks, Vlad. JJ. I listened to JJ and Vika from Sunday. Oh, it was so. Vika thought that he had a gotcha. It was so dumb, and he just kept saying it over and over. I'm like, oh my goodness. It was so bad. No. Oh, here, hold on. Nope. Okay. I was looking for a song by JJ, but I haven't prepped it, so I'm not going to do it right now. But I do have, I think I do. Where is it? Well, nope. Oh, I thought I had that one too. The one of Chewy. The what's his name with his horse paste. Where's that? Link me that. I'll play that on the way out. If you know the one I'm talking about. Was that from Harnold? That was pretty good. The bro song. Oh, you know what? All right, I'll do that. It's been a while. You know, we've had some Witspit withdrawals, which is fine. It's totally fine. But bro overload song. All right, everybody. Oh wait, Arnold has it. Arnold has it. You know what? He beat me to it. I'm gonna do that. All right. You know what? All right. I'm gonna prep it. I'm gonna actually prep it. I'm gonna get it going. I'm going to do it right. This song is so funny. What's it called? Please help Cubby. Here we go. Let's get Please Help Cubby. Jimmy Madison 42 says for $5. Says Flat Earth needs to explain non-bendy water in relation to tides. Oh my goodness, no kidding. So, Cubby. There we go. All right. Is it downloading? Is it coming? Oh, it's not working. Arnold, can you link? I think you probably have already, but I need the actual downloadable link. You can shoot that to me real quick. I'll get it. Oh, you gave me the link. See, I have it. Maybe I already have. No, I don't have it. I'm gonna need it. You gotta give me help. For some reason, it's not downloading with 4K downloader. Well, tell you what. I'm sorry. I'll get it next time. I'll cue it next time. I'll get both of them queued up. But it's going to be the Broverload. The Broverload song. All right, everybody. Maybe Thursday, Craig and I will have our 7-year anniversary birthday stream. We'll see you then.
I'm Nathan Thompson, Joe Biden. Oh, and the earth is flat. This dude thinks the earth is flat for me. Blah, 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 brain coach. Oh, the battery's dead. Oh, bro, like you. Hey, bro, where are my AirPods? I was like, bro, no, bro. And I'm like, what, bro? Like, I'm like, bro, cool story, bro. So I'm like, wow, I literally never saw the dude not drunk, bro. Like, literally ever, okay? It's like, dude, I gave it to you, bro. Get an F in life, bro. Hey, bro, cry me a river, bro. Oh, wow. Are you what a psycho, bro? Ha ha. Later, bro. Hello, what a psycho, bro. He said, have a nice, bro. I said, I'll pray for you, bro. Shut the F up, bro. You He's but, bro, what a weirdo. I don't call the cops. They wear pentagrams on their chest. They can only have 105 IQ. I'm not a big fan. Hey, bro, Austin's such an idiot. I'm like, what? Because I got kicked off about right. What are you kidding me, bro? You know, bouncing golf balls on hammers and juggling. It takes a little SpongeBob doll starts hitting it. What? Bob is like the OG, bro. What a loser. You going too deep, bro, dude. This is the surface, bro, dude. Like, that's not okay, bro. This doesn't add up. It's a bad look for the flat earth. I will press charges, bro. Don't make me do this, bro. The bromance is over. You much left, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro. Oh, I'm Nathan Thompson. Like, bro, like, calm down, bro. Like, all right, I'm getting bumps all over my stomach, bro. Like, they were smashing me, bro. They were feasting. That is his identity, bro. I'm Nathan Thompson. I'm effing Nathan Thompson. I am flat earth. I'm the best flat earth actress ever flattered. There's nothing without me. What a cool story, bro. He was in prison for literally nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like at 10 takes, bro. I'm not exaggerating. Like, cool story, bro. When you see the rainbow in entirety and completion, it's physical, literal evidence that the firm is still there. Rest assured, the earth's not about the flood, bro. You're good, but please stop talking crazy in the checks. I will continue to expose you. Like I said, the clip is only half empty, bro. Geo, bro. Like, love me, bro. Like, love me. I gave Geo the first bone he's ever had. Just get out, just leave, bro. No one cares. Memorize alternative things. Mr. Brain Train, Mr. Smart Genius. Guy flew out to LA and put on a duck suit and stacked toilet paper saying it was gonna go to the moon, bro. Purposely it misspelled the most important word, bro. To shut, bro. It doesn't add up, bro. Something doesn't add up. Something's fishy here, bro. Yeah, whenever I was like, dude, if you don't stop, go crazy, I'm gonna have to fight. He would just take off all his clothes, bro. Like, what a weirdo. Thanks for much love. I need a safe word. Keep taking that higher road, bro. It'll come back to you. I'm honestly feels disgusting and filthy. I feel like I need to take a shower.